Oh, dear, dear, dear. Linda from Bangor says, you don't leave the door to, you leave it till. My granny used to say that. You're absolutely right, Linda. How can I argue? I cannot gainsay such logic. It's a lovely day. Will he be nice to me this morning?
Gainsay such logic?
Yes. What?
Well, when is a door not a door?
Do you know how to be a soul singer?
I know how to be a soul singer.
Sit in front of the fire to your Bill Withers.
When is a door not a door?
When it's ajar.
Roy Rogers, too.
Tigger.
What?
42.
That's it.
Arsenal.
Douglas Adams.
He didn't.
He did so.
I don't believe that.
Thanked you for the fish.
I didn't send you any fish.
42.
Have you got a snib in your door?
That's the answer to the world. I've got a half door.
Do you leave the door to or till?
I leave it till me. Have you a dresser?
Ah, yes, it's called Alan.
All round the dresser and more stout for the woman in the bed.
No more porter for that woman. 3 chairs for the corpse.
We're good crack too, aren't we?
It certainly is. That breakfast did me the world of good. I must get one tomorrow.
People don't know what we're talking about, you know.
Who wrote this script?
I don't know who wrote it, but whoever did, should be sacked immediately.
I reckon they should be.
Mm-hmm. There's a number of people I think should be sacked immediately.
I'm going to check my snib.
Do people have snibs in their door?
That's
anymore?
what I was conjecturing there. I was. They can't touch you for it.
I have a snib in mine.
Have you?
I do, because every morning when I walk down my driveway.
Driveway?
It's a long walk.
In Anderson Towers?
I'm Anderson's Town. It's an hour and a half it takes me to get to my front gate.
I've got a car like that.
And I take the dog out. See, and every once in a while I forget the key. So as a precaution...
You got a key for your dog?
You're cooking today, aren't you?
Anderson's got a wind-up dog.
You're cooking today. And sometimes I forget the key, you see. And so I leave the door in the snib just in case I forget the key. But then again, by the act of putting the door in the snib should remind me to bring the key.
Exactly.
I mean, see, that's not the way it works with
I
me.
would change your dog if I were you.
I'm not going to change my dog. I love my dog just as much as I love you. Who sang that? Cat Stevens.
Cat Stevens. Well, it would have to be a dog, wouldn't it?
It would indeed.
Cat Stevens wrote it.
I think we'll...
What do you call Cat now? He's changed his name, hasn't he?
Mohammed Habada. He's one of the guys that, that George is going to sort out.
George Jones?
Yes. I was talking to George
Has
yesterday.
George declared war?
George has declared war on everyone who doesn't live in Iraq.
Good heavens.
He's looking after everyone else. What about St. Patrick's? Listen, can I just ask you this?
Go on.
All our politicians who are against the war in Iraq, why are they all going to America?
Because you get 2 booze-ups then. You go out on the 14th and get a skinful, and then you come back here.
St. Patrick.
Aye. What?
St. Patrick.
That's something you have in your eyes, isn't it?
No, St. Patrick. St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, St. Patrick.
Yeah. Sorry, I know it...
No, you've lost me now.
I know it's... Sorry.
I think we should just make it a week.
I'll tell you what, let's just carry on. Why don't you go home now?
Can I do that and see if my snib's on? All right.
And make sure your snib's working, and I'll carry on with whatever it is I have to do. Had anyone on today interesting?
Brian Kennedy. Brian came in and sang for me and said that he'd been talking to you and he didn't like you an awful lot. You've gone very quiet.
Do you remember the man you talked to? Remember Roy Orbison's brother?
Sam
Orbison?
Yes.
I saw him yesterday.
He's a nice man.
I didn't know it was him. I was in a well-known hotel, sitting beside the ladies' toilet, and a man came out, not of the ladies' toilet, a man came out of the gents, and I always do.
Do you accost the ladies as they come out?
You never know, You
might get lucky.
Anyway, he went over to the reception desk, and I looked at him, and he had the Roy Orbison story on his back.
Had he?
He had, indeed. What do you call those? A jerkin.
A jerkin, yeah. No, all right.
That's written on his back. And I remembered the conversation I had with you, and I said, I wonder, is that Roy Orbison's brother that talked to John? So I went over and I pretended to be doing something else, and I went over and I stood beside him. And he was giving out about something. Something ordinary. As you know that you and I give out about in hotels, like the lack of women in our rooms,
yes.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he turned around, and it was Roy Orbison looking at me. He's got that kind of...
He's very like him, yeah.
Do you know why I think he's like him? Because it's his brother. And I knew right away, and I said to myself, by thunder, that's Roy Orbison's brother. Bennett did not lie to me.
There you are.
So I'll always believe you in the future.
You thought I conjured him up out of my vivid imagination,
I thought you conjured him up out of whatever it is.
You think if I had conjured him up, I'd have called him Sam?
No, you should have called him Ray Orbison.
Alec.
Ray Orbison.
Alec Orbison's a good one.
Listen,
you better go.
I'm fed up now. Okay.
I'm fed up.
I know you were fed up. No, you were fed up before I was.
Right.
No, which is your right to be, because after all, you've been sitting there for an hour and a half.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to sit here for another hour and a half.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Sitting up in John Street with a whiskey in my hand, listening to the music of an Irish Katy band. singing Rod McCorley with the police at the door. And a whiskey, and a whiskey, and a whiskey town. Finest girls in all the world, put your arms around you. And Mary came beside me and she took me by the hand, and we started dancing to the Irish Cayley band. We were going crazy, dancing round and round, when the last thing I remember I was lying on the ground. And a whiskey, and a whiskey, and a whiskey town. Finest girls in all the world, put your arms around. Now whiskey is a blessing, whiskey is a curse. First it makes you better, then it makes you worse. Swear I'll never drink again, put my life in peril. Swear I'll never dance again with someone else's girl. And a whiskey, and a whiskey, and a whiskey town. Finest girls in all the world, put your arms around. And a whiskey, and a whiskey, and a whiskey town. Finest girls in all the world, put your arms around, yeah.
That's good, isn't it? That's P.P. Slaggart. That's his local singer-songwriter. I think he's from Oma, I'm not quite sure. He sent me a CD before, it was only a single, and that's the song that was on. It was called Whiskey Town, but this time it's his album. And the reason I played that one, because I haven't had time to listen to the other ones. I just received this album about 10 minutes before I came on the air. So I'm sure there's other good ones on it, but that's the only one I knew. So this is a new album. It's called Tales from a Whiskey Town. It'll be released. It'll be on sale on March the 24th from P.P. Slaggart. I think he's very, very good. There we are. Good. Right, I have some messages for other people. Oh, by the way, if you want to contact this programme, the number to ring is 08459 555 678. There may be people out there who have no idea what's going on here. This is a kind of a programme that, you know, everyone can take part in. If there's anything at all that you feel as if you want to talk to me about, or indeed complain, or indeed pontificate, by all means, join in, because I like to talk to people, because after all, it's the only way I can help them, and that's why I'm here, to help the people. To do what I can to make the world, and in particular Northern Ireland, a better place. It's 08459 555 678, and if you believe that, you believe anything. The number to ring, if you want to ring us, is that. If you want to send us an email, it's gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. Right, some messages here. Margaret Ellison from Crossgar said, I heard a lady yesterday wanting to have her child's foot charmed. Well, I can do that if he wants to get in touch with me. Right, I'm just going to put that on the one side. Maybe perhaps the lady who rang me, she had a small child with a verruca. Someone else suggested a bazooka, but I thought that was too extreme. So here's a lady who will charm a child's foot. English people listening, or people not of Irish origin, will realise that this is not necessarily a sort of thing that the Medical Association would go along with. But if a woman knows how to charm a child's foot, who am I to stop her? I'll just put that to the one side. And the lady who rang up, inquiring about getting her child's foot charmed, give us a ring and we'll pass you on to us, because I'm sure we've lost the information. Louise Hillier, I was looking for a poem that was mentioned on your programme. It's called Broadbent Street. We've had a number of requests for that. It mentions the tones, and the lady in question, the undertones? No, the tones, T-O-A-N-S, and the lady in question is my great aunt. My mum heard you say that it was on your website, but I looked on the site and I couldn't find it. I don't think it's on the website, actually. Sometimes I say these things and I don't know if they're on the website or not, but I just say that anyway, because it gives me something to say. I would really love it to get it for the rest of my family. Well, Louise Hiller, send me another email and send me your address, and I'll try and put it on the website, because, you know, I think these things should be on the website if people want them. But if not, send me the email and I will send you your address.
Okay, right. But listen, yes.
There's people looking at me in there. I wish they'd just leave me alone. And Sam Robinson says, I only get to hear the last hour or so of your programme each day. I'm an exile living in Brisbane, Australia. It's about 11 o'clock that night there. I don't know. How about a request for an old Ulster man? Something from the Mahara Felt man. Brendan Quinn, someone I'm sure you know well. We were Cubs together in the 60s. Right now I'm really looking forward to visiting Ulster again in June, July 2003 and also attending the Special Olympic World Games for athletes with an intellectual disability being held in Dublin in June. This will be the largest sporting event in the world this year with over 7,000 athletes. There you are. Okay. And Tom and Sandra are listening in Wales. They enjoy the programme. I'm just trying to get these out of the way because these are important that people get these messages across. As you're the font of all knowledge and communication, I wonder if you could help me. In North Street, Belfast, there used to be a pub called the Elephant Bar. Above the bar, the door of the bar, was a stone elephant. I wonder whatever happened to it. It was probably taken away and interrogated. The elephant was removed due to rejuvenation of the area. That's a great word, rejuvenation. There was a lot of rejuvenation going on here in Derry, Stoke London, Derry. The landscape is changing and the place is just diving into the gutter. That's from Jimmy Mulholland. I have an unresolved urge, says Carson Hart, to hear Loudon Wainwright III singing the swimming song. I haven't heard it since I was a student 20 years ago. I reckon it's time for a comeback. Obviously, you've reached that awkward age when you're casting your mind back to the time you were a student and realised for the first time that was the only time you were ever truly happy. By the way, the colour issue raised by Geordie can be related to drinking Botox rather than injecting it. Yeah, Geordie said the other day that I was a strange colour. A woman who had met me said that I was a brassy colour. I don't know what that is, but apparently if I drink some Botox, that's it. Please say Sláinte, Teresa and Tom Brown, who are tuning in from Lyon, and wish them all the best for St. Patrick's Day from all the family here in Belfast. There's great celebrations planned for St. Patrick's Day. I think we're having 6. And here we're having Mickey Hart. Great. Then we're all looking forward to visiting them in July, the Iraqi war permitting. P.S. Tell Frances McLaughlin I love her very much and ask her how do you work this vacuum cleaner. And here's another lady who's working, a lady called Carol, K-A-R-L, who's looking for a Siberian Husky puppy. Does anyone know someone who breeds them? Right.
One.
What?
There's a call in one.
Don't sound so officious.
I'm sorry.
Try and sound a wee bit normal. See, the people want that. They don't want Hitler on here. You know, don't just bark at me like that. People want to be reassured.
I thought in something.
Well, that's a novel thing.
Yes.
What happened? No, I hope you don't mind.
Did you notice that pause there? I thought in something. Let Gerry come in with a sarcastic remark. I thought in something.
Are you going to be like this today?
You understand?
Is this what you're going to be like today?
No. I thought that when you were talking to John Bennett.
Yes.
I thought, now, what a good idea it would be.
If John Bennett wasn't there at all?
No.
Yes.
If you and John Bennett were to merge for one day, and let's say your
You mean sleep together?
Let's say your boat trip. Could you not do the John Bennett and Gerry Anderson show from 10 o'clock until 12? And you take John down the foyle with some of his people, and then you point out to John all the beauty spots along our beautiful River Foyle. What do you think?
I think no.
Why not?
Because I don't want him up here.
Ah, that's so... And then I could go away afterwards and play golf with John in the afternoon.
That would be great for you and him. But you see, John and I have merged before.
Yes. But you merged before in Belfast and it's no good.
I have merged with John.
You've never merged with him up here.
Now, what happens is, you see, something happens to me whenever I merge with John, and I hope John's not listening because, you know, I hope he won't be upset. See, I get fed up.
I'm going to write to a man in Belfast and suggest this.
Don't. I'm having my bus run. Sorry, what's it called? A boat
trip.
I'm having my boat trip at the end of June. It's not finalised yet, but I will tell the listeners. You just keep out of it, okay? I don't want any.
I think the people would like to see John.
Why?
John, he could bring the guitar. He could sing.
No, you see, I've always done programs.
You could bring your guitar.
I've done programs with John before, and I get fed up.
But you like to get fed up because you'll be telling John. You see,
I get fed up. I get fed up.
That's that, and tell him all about the river and point out to the people.
I get fed up because there's no crack in him. There's no crack in him. There's no crack in him. I get fed up. It's like doing a program with your headmaster. That's what it's like.
I think the people should decide.
I don't want to.
I'm going to ask James Morton to ask the people.
It's my boat.
But you should invite John there.
He can go up any other time. He can go into Saturday or Sunday. It's my programme, it's my boat, and I'm going to be on it from 10:30 to 12. And we're going to invite the people to come along and whisper.
Whisper?
No. No, come along and witness. I want them to come along and witness the beauties that we have to offer them.
Right.
Or as Mark Carolla says, what's on offer here? Look at the wildlife, the flora and fauna.
But that's why you should
flows over
you
our.
could tell John all.
He doesn't care.
Show John all this.
He'd bring a 7-iron. No. We don't try. No, I don't want him. No, I want the ordinary people. I don't want people to look down their nose at our amenities. I mean, I've seen your amenities. They're not great.
Would you talk to a lady on one?
After I read a poem.
No, please. This lady's in a hurry.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I wanted to give you a message for Charlie.
Yes.
Do you know why he's rotating the wallpaper?
Why?
It's the paste. There was a program on TV one time and showed us. But it was in the paste. The dogs and all ate it.
The paste?
The paste that you put the pepper on with.
Oh, I know what the paste is, yes.
Well, it's whatever's in the paste. It's making the... Because my wee dog done that too.
And how did it end up?
Tell him, take a pepper off and put a taste of emulsion on.
All right, then, I'll do that.
Listen, but you talked one time about a wee bun being a sore head.
Yes.
What about a lodger's loaf?
A lodger's loaf is a thing that you don't see often these days.
I know, that's why I'm asking you.
But you see them occasionally. I see the odd lodger's loaf.
I know. Well, that's what I wanted to say to you.
When was the last time you saw a lodger's loaf?
About 6 months ago.
That's right. Well, so it hasn't been too long.
No.
So the withdrawal symptoms haven't kicked in yet.
But they were a queer mark for a lodger.
I'm telling you. Do people have... Did you ever keep lodgers yourself?
No,
Listen, can I ask you something?
No.
Do you have a radio on there?
No.
Do you not? Well, no, it just sounds as if there is.
Well, no.
Did you ever keep a lodger yourself?
No.
We used to have lodgers in our house.
Well, good luck to you.
I liked lodgers. We had 2 busmen.
Right.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So thank you for that. There's a weird noise. Are you sure you haven't got a radio on?
It's my phone. You're all right. It's not it's not the radio.
All right, then. Okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. That's doing my head in. Davy Madison sends me a poem. It's about all the various shops around Northern Ireland. It's called Notable Names. I'll read this. I think it's quite good. I've said it before and I'll say it again to gain people's attention and make myself plain. I admire shop owners who give this matter thought when naming their premises, have for a clever name sought. Now, in a previous poem, I've mentioned Sheer Bliss and other hairdressers, so I'll give these a miss. Instead, I've looked around, so to you I can tell, Belfast Craigie Road Launderette is called The Washing Well. It has also a pawn shop, it's called Quids Inn, an electric shop wired up, both now closed, a sin, and closed Finnehy's video shop, called Flicks and Flutters, whose patrons are all probably cinematography nutters. I liked Oma Town's chip shop called Splash in the Pan. Oh, we know those people. Newtonards has Bill and Ben, the TV aerial men. Or Glengormley's furniture store called Betty Buys. But are these people clever? Are they really wise? There's Snooker's Hot Spots on Belfast's Newtonards Road, and the centre spot has a Castlereagh Road abode. Cavity Corner is a dentist in Belfast, whilst further down in Downpatrick there's one called Down in the Mouth. A beauty parlour in Bangor is called Face Facts. With a name like that, get up people's backs. Then again, you might just be over the moon if you go to Belfast's High Flyers and buy a balloon. When in Belfast, if you want to treat your kith and kin, you will always be welcomed in the Morton. But if you fancy a meal in Killinchy at the Daft Eddie's, you can always do this, provided you have enough readies. Maybe to you dining out this does not appeal, and you really don't want a full-blown meal, but having a hunger problem, try Bloomfield Avenue's Scoffs, or maybe St. Field Road's Fillers, up amongst all the toffs. If you're a crooner and think that you're Bing Crosby, sorry. If you're a crooner and say, how could you forget about Bing Crosby? If you're a crooner and think you're a Bing and have the silly notion that you can sing, it's only a matter of lifting the phone. There's this music shop, Howler's Karaoke, in Port Glenone. But if you're only interested in pampering your pet, it seems the crazier you are, the more crazy names get. Wings and Things in Belfast, this does appeal, or Paws and Claws in Dundonald. Also there's one in Kilkeel. Limavady has a pet service called Nails and Tails. Randallstown has Paws to Wash when pets go off the rails. You'll find Creature Comforts in Ballymena and Maherafelt, and Newtonards Glow Walkies supply, yes, a reflecting belt. But if you have a dirty pet, you can always get your man. He'll come from Cumber in the Mucky Mutts van. And if a pooch drinks too much and is out like a log, in Larne they wake it and give it hair of the dog. There's a locksmith in Belfast called Safe Solutions. As for washroom services, where you do your ablutions, one firm has a name which is really racy. It provides condoms. It's called Just In Casey.
Who wrote that? Who wrote that? Huh?
What do you mean who wrote that?
Who wrote? Who?
Davy Manderson.
Well, I didn't know. There's a man on one wants to ask you something or talk to you.
Good morning, sir.
Gerry,
Yes.
I agree with Sean. You should get John up to Derry for the.
I don't want him up here.
Why not?
There's too much rubbish in the streets.
No, he would bring a bit of class to you.
Too many alcoholics lying on the ground. No, he's too critical.
I should have make another one.
He'll be saying, why don't we talk with the alcoholics? And I would say, no, let's talk to them. And then we'd argue about that. No, he's too fussy.
No, get him up and get him to bring Carrie with him.
Girl's blouse.
That's the girl that you and Sean were talking about one
Why
day.
did he
Who's
just
the
send?
voice.
Why not just send Kerry up on her own? Who needs him? So she'd be able to
that's a
assist
good idea.
us at the wheel.
No, but John and Sean will be able to go out to golf and all, and you're spoiling his day on him.
I would like, but see, I can't see any reason why John just can't come up and play golf with Sean. I don't know why I should have to do a programme with him.
What
no need for
what
that.
is it with you and John? What's he got on you?
Nothing at all. He has my record. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
You know that, don't you?
Yeah, John's got your record. But you've got his.
I've
got your record that you gave
I don't
to
have
me.
his. I don't have his. I don't.
You need to put it to public vote. I think you should have him up.
I think so too.
No, he has got the... Have you seen this new Moab bomb that the Americans have?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Well, John's got the equivalent of that as far as I'm concerned. See, I made a record once.
Turn me off.
I made a record once. And he is the only copy that I know exists. And every once in a while, when I'm very bad, he plays it. And he won't give it to me.
Well, then you tell him if you bring him up for the day, he has to give you.
No, if I ring him up, he'll bring it with him and play it. No, I can't take that chance.
Yes.
Anyway, what business is of yours?
I have an opinion. I want to air it with you.
After all, your opinion is just the same as the next man's. And by thunder, if you can't express your opinion in democratic Northern Ireland, where else can you do it?
I know.
Because, people have died so that you can express your opinion. People in the world wars. It's important that you're... Okay, well, thank you, sir.
Well, put it to vote. I'm telling you, it'll be overwhelming.
All right, then I'll have a chat to him. I can't promise anything.
Okay, Jack.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Do you think I'm starting to sound like Jackie Fullerton?
You are, yes.
What do you think I should do about it?
I don't know. You maybe stand up.
All right, I'll try that. Okay,
Okay.
Bye. Here's a man who often stands up, but people think he's sitting down. That's Kieran Goss. Brand new style.
Every now and then you like to take it easy. Sit right back and view the situation's not bad. The future is brighter. Soon we'll be floating on the crest of a wave. Goodbye to all your troubles, change of heart. The world will start today. It's like a new beginning. See you shine like a brand new star. That you end up crying, maybe all you need's to get away from friends and the walls surround you. Find a shore, step into the wave. Goodbye to all your troubles, change of heart. The world will start today. It's like a new beginning. See you shining like a brand new star. Shoulders, I will give you wings so you can fly to lands where your dreams surround you. Find a shore, step into the wave. Goodbye to all your troubles, change of heart. The where we'll start today's like a new beginning. See you shining like a brand new star. A brand new star.
That's good. That's Kieran Goss. That's a song called Brand New Star. Well, what does a Playboy look like?
Sorry?
What does a Playboy look like?
What does a Playboy look like?
I was walking down the street in Belfast yesterday, minding my own business. You know, looking neither left nor right, as I normally do, because you know how shy
Jackie
I am.
was foundered last night on the TV. Did you see
Was
him? He was foundered.
Was he outside?
He was out at a football ground, and his wee cheeks were all red.
Oh, it's probably just, that's probably the drink. Listen, I was walking down this. Never mind about him.
There's a man on one.
I know that. We won't have time to talk to him. We'll have to talk to him
If you
after.
talk to the man now, you'll have time.
No, I want to talk to you about the woman I met yesterday. I was walking down the street looking left and right, and this lady came up the street with a young girl, obviously her daughter. And she looked at me, not look. Mm-hmm. Says, I know you. And she said, you look like a Playboy.
Aye.
And I walked past and I said, hello. And she said, you look like a Playboy. I said, thank you. And I walked on. What did you mean, do you think?
Well, you were a Playboy years ago.
I know,
But I think you've lost that image. You were the sort of boy that years ago, you were the typical mohair suit with a large piece of cuff showing on your shirt. You know
Yeah,
that, right?
I went through that, yeah.
And cufflinks.
Yeah.
And well-polished shoes.
Oh, yeah.
A nice crease in the trousers. Nice white shirt, nice tie.
Change
Maybe even remember the pins on the collar. Maybe the pin through shirts. Possibly.
Change your underwear every week.
Right? And a cigarette.
Absolutely.
And you'd walk into a lounge bar, or maybe the lobby of an hotel.
Yes.
Right?
No, we didn't know no hotels then.
Right, with hand in pocket, posing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was happy.
And then go to the bar and order a G&T or a vodka and white.
Vodka and white.
Leave it on the counter, but never touch it.
No.
Or let it sit there for a long time. All the time with your elbow on the bar,
That's
cigarette
right.
in hand, cup showing,
Lamp on the place.
looking all around. But what you're actually saying is, everyone, look at me.
But your eyes don't linger on anyone.
That's right. You want them. You want to see if they're looking at you. You're
That's
not
right,
looking
yeah.
at them.
Yeah.
And you stand and you pose.
Yeah, but try
And
not
then
to-
you find, and then carefully you look around to see where the gents would be, and then off you go to the gents, very very relaxed, smoking while you walk into the gents, and immediately comb your hair, fix your tie, and look at yourself. Yeah, I'm fine. Dust off whatever dandruff would be on the shoulder, back out again.
No. You throw your butt in the toilet bowl and light another fag.
Oh, do you? Well, I didn't. I never smoked.
No, you come out with. You did smoke.
I didn't smoke when I was never a playboy.
I know you weren't. But then you come out with a fresh fag. You can't come out
Right.
sucking the butt.
Okay, you not.
Because the fag's nearly gone by the time you're in the loo. That goes
right.
straight down the wash bowl. You know the sign that says, please do not throw down here because they're difficult to light? Mm-hmm. You ignore that. Just throw them down then because who cares if they light them or not? And you light a fresh one, then you're out again. And then by the time you get back to the bar, somebody's stolen your drink. Well, I've been through that.
Right.
I was
That's
a
a
playboy.
playboy.
But look at me now. I mean, what did she sense that? Mm-hmm. She sensed that from days gone by.
Yes, but that was you.
But why
You
did
were a poser.
I was, yeah, but I got over it.
No, there's at times it comes out in you.
There's some who didn't get over it. No,
Yes, you're not over it entirely.
George, there.
You're still posing.
I'm not posing. I haven't posed for.
You posed last Saturday night.
Did I?
Yes.
Where was I?
I was told you were posing last Saturday night.
Where was I last Saturday?
I don't know, but I was told you were.
I was posing.
Yes, you see.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
I had a wee pose to myself. Do you know every now and again you miss it?
You need one.
You need a wee pose every now and again to make sure you know that everything's working.
Aye.
No, I posed away. Yeah, you're right, actually. I
Yes.
did pose last Saturday
Yes.
night.
You see.
Well, I suppose. But how did she know that? She wasn't there. This was yesterday. This is me walking up and down the street. No, my ordinary during the day clothes.
Yes.
And she says, you look like a playboy. So I must have that charisma still.
Yeah.
See, you know, I must have leapt out at her. Well, I mean, not literally. Metaphorically.
I mean, you would walk into a bar and heads would turn. But if I walked in or John Bennett walked in...
Oh, yeah, backs would turn.
Yeah, wouldn't they?
People would turn their back to you.
People say it's time to go.
Well, this is very nice, Sean. Maybe we could continue this some other time.
All right.
I'll go now. We'll be back in about 4 minutes' time.
92 to 95 FM.
And 1341 medium wave.
BBC Radio Ulster.
Now at 11 o'clock, the news with Keith Burnside. The Criminal Justice Minister, Des Brown, says tougher sentences are to be introduced to tackle the problem of so-called joyriding. Mr Brown was speaking after calls from people living in South Belfast for more police patrols following an increase in car crime.
I am sending a message out that our view is that tougher sentences for so-called joyriders and new legislation to improve road safety has to be at the heart of our attempts to raise the levels of road safety awareness and to address part of the cause of the unacceptable number of fatal road accidents.
Meanwhile, a man's due to appear at Belfast Magistrates Court around now in connection with a hammer attack on a man at the weekend. Maurice McCracken is critically ill after he was beaten over the head while he lay in bed. The man is charged with attempted murder, assault, burglary, stealing a car and dangerous driving. A woman's been attacked and her car hijacked in County Down. She was approached by a gang of 3 youths wielding baseball bats on the Portaferry Road in Newtonards. She was kicked in the stomach and also suffered a hand injury. The youths drove off in her silver Alfa Romeo car. One of Sinn Féin's closest political allies in the United States has said the party will soon sign up to policing. Congressman Peter King's comments come as the leaders of the main pro-agreement parties arrive in Washington for the city's St. Patrick's Day celebrations hosted by President Bush. Ministers are playing down the idea that America might go to war with Iraq without British help. The suggestion was made by the US Defence Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. He later clarified his remarks by saying he expected British forces to play a significant role. But rebel Labour backbenchers have seized on Mr Rumsfeld's remarks. The former Labour Minister, Glenda Jackson, says the comments should make Mr Blair think again.
It certainly shows that the Prime Minister's belief that he could exercise influence over the White House has been seriously misplaced. And I sincerely hope now he listens to what the people who gave him his job in the first instance, the people of this country, have been saying to him loud and clear, and he pulls our troops out of there.
Meanwhile, a senior figure in the European Union is warning about the dangers of going to war against Iraq without the support of the United Nations. The former Tory minister Chris Patten, who's now the EU's Commissioner for External Relations, also says the EU may not be prepared to help fund the rebuilding of Iraq if the UN is not involved.
I'm absolutely convinced that Mr Blair and the British government are wholly right to do everything they can to get a second UN Security Council resolution because of the ambiguities involved in going ahead without one. I think that the effect on the UN of military action or of reconstruction without a UN mandate would be pretty alarming.
Hundreds of firefighters will lobby MPs later in protest at the latest pay offer linked to changes in working practices. The Fire Brigade Union is threatening further strikes. Mick McCarthy is the new manager of Sunderland Football Club. The former Republic of Ireland manager replaces Howard Wilkinson, who was sacked on Monday evening. The team is struggling to avoid relegation from the Premier Division. And the weather, dry and bright and sunny. BBC Radio Ulster News.
BBC Radio Ulster.
Travel news.
In Belfast city centre, Adelaide Street is closed from Clarence Street to Ormeau Avenue. Work by the water service is taking place and diversions are signposted. Construction of the Limavady bypass continues, and as a result there are temporary traffic controls on the A2 Seacoast Road. Some delays can be expected there. And the Deer Park Road in Macrofelt is closed to facilitate work by the road service. Diversions are signposted. Deirdre Harshaw reporting.
Travel news from BBC Radio Ulster.
Oh, that's it. Sorry. It's 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. Welcome back. I'll be here until 12 o'clock. Again, the number to ring if you want to contact us is 08459 555 678. Email jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. That came on quite suddenly. This is a song that people have wanted to hear. A lot of people have asked for this. It's called Late Starters in Love by Alan, Gerry and McLaughlin.
They tell me that loving will never be mine. Go on that I got plenty of time. I come from a long, distinguished line of late starters in love. My father was 60 when he met me, man 71 when she finally said yeah. The Saturday night coming home from a flat, they married the very next morning. I heard them say that love is blind, so all of me life I've been looking behind, and sometimes going out of me mind, searching for someone to love. I treat her right when I take her out, a chicken and chips and a gallon of stout. I know what courting is really about, and I can't understand why I'm single. They tell me that loving will never be mine. Go on to that, I got plenty of time. I come from a long, distinguished line of late starters in love. My father was 60 when he met me, man 71 when she finally said yeah. The Saturday night coming home from a flat, they married the very next morning. So all you ladies there in distress, give Liveline a call, they have my address. Then drop me a line and I'll do the rest, and all your worries are over. And always remember, an acre of land is better than having some sod on your hands. 15 kids and none of them planned, and him supporting a brewery. They tell me that loving will never be mine. Go on to that, I got plenty of time. I come from a long, distinguished line of late starters in love. My father was 60 when he met me, man 71 when she finally said yeah. The Saturday night coming home from a flat, and marry the very next morning. Changing the laws, maybe they'd like to put in a clause telling the world we're no dolls just because we reach 60. Cause lately I notice a lack of response when me and the lads turn up at a dance, yelping and shouting and stomping the floor. You'd think they'd be happy to see us. They tell me that loving will never be mine. Go on to that, I got plenty of time. I come from a long, distinguished line of late starters in love. My father was 60 when he met me, man 71 when she finally said yeah. The Saturday night coming home from a flat, and married the very next morning.
Late Starters in Love, that's from a band called Alan, Gerry and McLaughlin, from an album called, strangely enough, Late Starters in Love. Hello, good morning.
Hello, how you doing, Gerry?
I'm all right, thank you.
Good, good.
I have a jumper that's too long in the sleeves.
Oh, well, that happens to all of us.
But then again, you see, if I let it go like that, it looks as if you're trying to look young. Do you know how many people have their, you know, their hands up and their sleeves too long?
As long as you're not trailing the ground, you'll be all right, I'm sure.
Well, I have my knuckles have been known to brush the ground on occasion, but only when I'm pretending to be Neanderthal man. What can we do for you?
I was just thinking, Gerry, you know, I think you've maybe reached that stage where you could be the next Doctor Who.
Do you think so?
I think so. I mean, we've only had one Doctor Who since the late great John Pertwee, haven't we?
Well, you see, it all depends. You see, everyone likes the Doctor Who that they had whenever they were a particular age. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't like to tell you who my Doctor Who was.
No, well, that's it.
Can you guess?
I would imagine, well, I wouldn't like to say Patrick Troughton, but, you know.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And I actually, you know, there was one before him.
Oh, no, can't remember his name. William Hartnell or something.
That's it.
Yeah, there you are.
Even I don't remember him.
No.
Well, I remember meeting Tom Baker here in Derry, Stoke London, Derry, in a very long scarf.
Uh-huh.
It was too lovey for me.
I think he's got a long beak as well. I mean, I think he's got very grumpy and gnarled in his old age.
He was an old actor, you know.
Yes.
I'm Doctor Who, you know.
Yeah.
But he didn't, no, they shouldn't be like that. They should be a little bit Spacey. He was too actorish for me.
That's exactly right, yes.
So, there hasn't been one. I mean, the last one was one of the McGann brothers.
Yes, he didn't really carry it. I could see
No,
you
he
did definitely fit that bill. You wouldn't even need a wee robot dog or anything.
You see, what you need is a patina of age and experience to paint the part with.
That's right.
And I think I've got the equivalent experience.
Of course.
I don't know, though. I've never really wanted to be Doctor Who. But it's something that I haven't considered, to be honest with you.
It'd be something that would be thrust upon you, rather than go for it, wouldn't it?
Do you have any influence at all?
No.
You're just nobody, are you?
I just whack out in a licence fee every year,
That's all
like
right.
everybody else,
Do you watch a lot of television?
I don't now, Used to when I was a kid. From behind the sofa.
I watch any programme I'm in behind the sofa.
Yes, most is better off with your head under a pillow than behind chronic.
Well, what do you do now? How do you pass the time? I mean, do you watch Coronation Street?
Oh, God, no.
The whole thing's getting out of control, isn't it?
Doctor Who's a bit more believable, isn't it?
What do you call that fella that's
right about Doctor Who? I don't watch Doctor Who, but I mean, Coronation Street, I watched it last night. Was it last night? It was on one night anyway. The man who supposedly have murdered 2 people is now in the house with Gail and her children. I thought, what is going on?
I'd be more afraid of being in the house with Gail than being your man.
She's not holding the ears well, is she?
No.
She's getting to look more like a turtle.
Oh, that's a terrible thing.
No, she does. She used to look like a budgie, but now she's beginning to resemble a tortoise or a turtle. And
she must be de-evolving then, maybe that's what it is.
No, here's the strange thing: the pantomime villain in Coronation Street, the fella that's killing everybody.
Well, there you are.
He was in Derry, Londonderry last Saturday. Do you know that?
Yes.
Did you go up and see him?
I did. I queued up for his autograph, but alas, he ran out of photographs.
It's a shame. You must have been disappointed when you was home.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
But there was a great photograph in one of our local papers of the crowd that went to see him. And that was a scary photograph. Did you see the people?
No.
Did you see them? No. Did you not see that?
No. I was there.
You weren't there, were you?
I wasn't.
You went up to see him.
Am I not in the photograph?
You're not, no. Well, you might have been, because it was a scary photograph. I half expected to see you there. But here's the thing that I can't really understand. See, he was there and the police were looking for him. And there he's in the paper. And next week, there's a touring production of a play called The Blue Room, starring a girl who he killed, who's going to appear in our city with her clothes off.
Oh, right.
Tracy Shaw, alias Maxine.
Oh, there's a bus run. He
killed her. And he was going through our city on Saturday, and there were posters up with photographs of Maxine.
I bet there's no seat available for that production.
Exactly. Who he killed. And do you know what I'm going to tell you? It didn't take a wrinkle out of him, which goes to show how evil he is.
Oh, he's definitely evil. Yes, so you're. He could be in that Doctor Who along with you.
Well, listen, we'll take your suggestions on board, as we take on board all suggestions made by our listeners.
Good.
Because after all, we value the opinions of our listeners, none more than yourself.
Yes, well, I look forward to seeing you on UK Gold or whatever else.
Okay,
very good, Doctor Who.
I'm going straight to digital.
Definitely. I can see it.
I'm going straight to digital TV.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Good.
You'd be good on that.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, my son.
Gerry.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye. Bye. Did I ever tell you about the time I almost played? I'm not going to tell you because you'd only laugh at me.
I will not. What? You're making this up now because you're stalling. You're trying to get a point.
I'm just considering whether or not to tell you because, you don't understand anything I do.
I would like to spin. I would like to present. Do you know the program where the boy leans over and spins a big wheel?
Wheel of Fortune.
I would like to present that.
Would you?
And you appear in Doctor Who, and I'd present Wheel of Fortune.
I was once asked to play a part in Waiting for Godot.
Ach, you were not.
You see?
Yes, you were, but yet nothing materialised. So I remember that time.
It wasn't my fault.
You got a phone call asking you...
It was more than that.
And they were to send you a script and
they sent me everything.
They didn't send you the script.
They sent it to me.
They did not.
They did.
They didn't.
The only reason I didn't do it because...
You were also asked to appear in Panto. Weren't you?
I refused that right away. But I offered someone else. I said, yes, of course I'll appear in it if my friend gets a part as well. So they organised a part for you, and then I pulled out.
Yes, I know, and you left me in this Panto.
Yes, but you enjoyed it.
You were asked to take part in a big production pantomime just after.
I was never interested in pantomime because I don't want to prostitute my skills as an actor.
You were asked.
I was asked to do Beckett. I want to talk about Beckett.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked to play Estragon.
There's a man on 2.
You see, you don't care about art.
I do, but
you don't care about art, I
said.
Look,
it never happened.
But it nearly did.
It never happened.
They wanted me because they thought I had the necessary qualities. They wanted me to play Estragon. What was the other part? You don't even know.
I auditioned for Jipple Nolan's part in The Informer.
In 1931?
You didn't know that, did you?
You must have been very young.
In the Abbey Theatre.
When did you do that?
So there you go.
You're a lying swine. When did you...
I should make that up. I should make that up. I've got the photographs to prove it.
When did you...
There you are.
Okay, give me a date.
No.
Give me a date.
It was in the mid-70s.
And you went down to Dublin to audition.
Mm-hmm.
No, seriously, no,
Yes.
I'm with you here.
Yes.
Don't let me think...
Yes.
Don't think that I'm going to slag you all about this. I'm not going to laugh.
So, one time they thought I would be a fine actor.
Who did?
I'm not telling you because you'll
laugh
at me.
All right, a producer maybe?
No, I'm not telling you.
Well, someone that you respect.
Apparently we missed a very good play here in our city last week.
What was that?
Big Ivan
Dunbar.
Little was
it. Troubles according to me, Dad.
Aye.
Yeah, of course we missed it.
We missed it.
Yeah, which we never go out anywhere.
That was your fault.
It was my fault.
Well, over the man on 2.
To hell with him. I wanted to hear about your attitude. I mean, not your attitude. What do you call it? I'm using the wrong words today. Your audition.
I shall not tell you.
You went to Dublin. Did you go to Dublin on the one mission to do the audition?
Yes.
And where did you do the audition?
In the Abbey Theatre.
Really? Where is it?
I was too young for the part.
Where's the Abbey Theatre?
I don't know.
I
should know. I should know. Therefore, it's all lies.
Where is the Abbey Theatre? At the top? At the top?
All lies.
Is it the top of a car?
And if I told you who, I went with a group of other people. I couldn't tell you. I could not find O'Connell Street for you in Dublin. Don't ask me where Henry Street is. Don't ask me where the lady that's put their money down their knickers is. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know Dublin. I don't know Belfast. For God's
sake, you're scaring the people.
Don't.
You're scaring the people. Don't be getting so excited.
But you're just annoyed now. You're not. Yes. I was too young for the part. And I wasn't heavy enough. But they says my performance was excellent. And would I keep in touch with them? And I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
You let that go?
Yes.
You could have become Liam Neeson.
Well, I discussed that with Neeson when I interviewed him in Paris.
You could have been Oscar Schindler.
I could have been.
You're too short.
So that's why, you see, it means when I interview the likes of Liam Neeson...
He's the only one you ever interviewed.
Well, it doesn't, I feel on a par.
They never asked you to interview anyone else after.
No, they didn't.
Never wonder about that?
Yeah.
It's all right. I hope you don't mind me saying that. It's just a little barb. So I didn't realise that. Okay, who's in?
I shall perform for you after the show.
Well, I wish you would, because you won't do any impersonations.
Will you talk to that man?
Do something without demanding money. Where is he?
He's on too.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Well, Terry, see your bad talk and everything coming out of you. I don't care. You can say all the bad talk you want. Don't say it on the radio.
Oh, it's the thief.
Will I tell you something?
I was in Belfast yesterday.
Yes, sir. I just want to tell you about Belfast. I just told your horse a minute.
I went up to the man.
And it's nothing to do with the stone crusher either. Sorry, Billy, you didn't go to the man. I'll tell you what you did. You said to the wee huggy behind the desk away last week, "Oh, is there anything there for me?" And he says, "Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson." And you just get out and get in your car and away you went. You never as much as went around anywhere. And we had to go and pick them things up again. And they're being delivered up to Radio Foyle tomorrow.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I'm sorry.
You see, and you should be ashamed of yourself as well.
I'm sorry for calling you a thief.
You may speak up. I can't hear what you're saying.
I'm sorry for calling you a thief.
You're not sorry at all. You did it about 6 times. And you even said about the man, the stone crusher man, when he rung up yesterday. See, we huffies in that thing. They're staffed with rush. I rung up yesterday, and their phone rung, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And this character answered anyway, and, trying to explain. Next thing, he cut me off.
Oh, they do that sometimes, and they don't like the sound of you.
Aye.
I can't understand why they would cut you off. But let me just explain this to you. Yesterday, it's one of those things. I went in there and I said, listen, there's some controversy. I said, I know this thief who sent in some... Let me just explain for the benefit of the listeners who may not know what this is all
I'm
about.
sure everybody knows the night, Gerry. Even the dummies are talking about you.
It's a consignment of calendars, Beatle calendars, which I'm supposed to distribute amongst...
24 number.
Which I'm supposed to distribute amongst the poor. and you were supposed to leave them in Belfast. I walked up to the man yesterday in the front gate and I said, listen, I said, I know this thief, and he's left in a number of Beatles calendars, 2 somewhere. And he said he must have left them in here. Is there any other place he could have left them? He said, they're not here, and there's nowhere else he could have left them. I said, do you know that for a fact? He said, yes, I know that for a fact. I said, could he have left them round the back? He said, no. And if he had left them round the back, they would have contacted me here. I said, would he have left them in the post room? He said, no, they wouldn't have let any thief into the post room. So I said to myself, what possibly...
You've been there before.
I know. But you see, I'm an employee of the BBC. I have a badge.
Before that, they were retrieved last Friday.
Where did you leave them in?
Well, I didn't leave them in, that's the thing. It was Dirty Billy left them in.
Where did Dirty Billy leave them? Where did Dirty Billy leave them?
I take it he left them around where you'd normally leave the deliveries in.
At the front?
You're not... See, that's high daft. That's like talking to that wall, talking to you.
They won't take stuff round the back.
I know. They won't take stuff round the front. Don't you be that. Anyway, look.
They don't take stuff anywhere.
All right? Because they're on a van for tomorrow's delivery.
All right, as long as we've got it sorted out. I'm sorry I called.
Well, I have to tell you this now. This is the best laugh. You know why you want to laugh, but you can't.
Oh, I know.
Because you're terrible afraid of offending somebody.
Oh, I know.
I was in Newtonards Market on Saturday, right? And there was this here man with a wee dog. Now, just a wee ordinary dog, a wee mongrel dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's just walking around, and the dog was doing nothing. It wasn't, you know.
Mind its own business.
And next thing this old fella, and he's the best wig ever. Now, I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Right.
But it was the best one ever, right? And it sat on top of his head, perched, and it sat way up, you see. It didn't sort of, sit normal.
Like a tea cozy.
I want to tell you, I thought it was going to leave balls and take a lump out of somebody one time.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, he says to this man with the dog, no, it's just the dog, and this old fellow with the wig and the pipe, no. And he says to the man with the dog, he says, have you a licence for it there? And the man looked at him as if he wasn't waiting. He says, have you a licence for the whole thing in your head? I couldn't keep the laugh. I just pushed myself. But about 9 people turned around, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, I cried with laughter. I did. I could do nothing more, Gerry, you know.
Did he really say that to him?
He said, honestly, Gerry, I'm just having to move a wee second here. Somebody to turn.
That's all right, sorry.
And he says to him, he says, have you a licence for that thing in your head? And your man just, he didn't know what to say, you know.
That was him. Game, set, match, it sounds like to me.
And it was funny, and there's old pipe and all, he near chucking the old pipe away, and he couldn't shuffle through. There was that man in the market, he couldn't shuffle through. You know what I mean? There's crowds and crowds of people, you know?
Hold on a minute.
What? So
sorry for interrupting
funny.
you two,
I'll
boys.
tell you, I'm quite honest with you.
No, that's good. Hold on a minute.
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Look, he's in the middle of a story.
No, the story's over now.
Oh, no, there might be more.
That's the end of that. The punchline was...
It's not the end of that.
The punchline was, have you a licence for that in your head? That was the punchline.
But there might be a corollary.
It's just laughter now. It's
just laughter now?
It's just laughter now.
Oh, yeah, you don't like that, do you?
No, it's petering out now, so I thought now's the time.
Petering out?
Mm-hmm. Connor phoned to explain to Michael. Is Michael listening?
Yes, Michael's listening, Sean.
You phoned Gerry's show yesterday.
Yes.
And a gentleman... by the name of Connor took your call.
Connor is one of the gentlemen who work on the phones down in Belfast. He's the fellow who took your call. Did he ring?
Yes, and Connor says that your phone, Michael, cut out yesterday. He did not hang up on you.
No.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, you are.
You were on a mobile phone, apparently?
Uh-huh.
Is this right?
How does it never cut out any other time I'm talking to you all the time?
No, the fellow's gone out of his way now to explain it to you.
Well, that's all right. No, we give the fellow the benefit of the doubt now. I must admit, I was passing through somewhere and I've stopped.
No benefit of the doubt.
But that's okay. It's very nice the fellow
What do you mean no benefit of the doubt?
It's just what happened. This is what happened.
Oh, it is what happened, yeah, because Connor's a nice lad.
It's nothing to do with Connor at all. The phone cut.
Nobody's saying he's not.
Yes, you be getting hysterical.
Excuse me. Connor phoned to say that Michael said on air that he phoned your programme yesterday and the person hung up on him.
Yes,
Michael
John,
said
we've all got the point. It's all been ironed out now. We know that probably my phone cut out, or it was a misunderstanding somewhere or other.
It's not probably a fact. Your phone did cut out.
Well, if he knew it was me, then why did he not go to Mr.
Do you know what you're like today?
What's his number?
Do you know what you're like today? You're like a traffic warden today.
I'm defending Connor.
Well, he's worse than a traffic warden.
He's a colleague.
You are no, and that's right what the people say. He's no fun, Gerry. He's no fun, and he won't do impressions, and he won't do anything, but he'll say bad talk. Oh, he'll say bad talk, and he's sitting there with the belly hanging over the trousers and all.
He said ours last week.
See the one part that you were too young for and you weren't heavy enough. You wouldn't be too long getting it now.
You'd have got it. He's too old for it now.
Here, Gerry, will I tell you, I cried with laughter yesterday at Geordie.
Turn me off.
Hey, you see, look, there's fun for you.
Turn me off.
There's fun for you. What?
Geordie says he was up at the golf club, you see, and he was telling you, if you remember, he says, and they're chasing that wee ball out, and he says they're plastered, the faces all plastered on the walls, as if they've done something. He says, any wonder why Sean Coyle's
Ah, you remember that? That was really good, that. You missed that yesterday.
What did he say?
He was talking about he was up in the golf club.
Yes.
Geordie.
Oh, dear.
You see, the people in the golf club had rented out their facilities to the
Ballymena
Goat Club.
Yes.
Which is almost nearly the same, except for 2 letters. And he said, see, Geordie had never been in a golf club before.
That's right.
And he said, he looked around at all the trophies. He says, geez, there's some rare boys up there. And he said all the things, a few pound about there, all the old trophies. And he said, all the photographs all plastered up there as if they'd done something. He says, it's no wonder Sean Coyle... Isn't that a great expression? I says, no wonder Sean Coyle goes all the time. They all look like criminals, which many of them are, of course.
It's a sin.
No, commercial criminals.
No, it's you better apologise for that.
I'm not apologising for your well-heeled friends. All the boys that sneak up and...
You see, this is the thing. What about the time, Gerry? What about the time last year when I tried to get in? Remember, I did delivery to a certain golf club in North Down.
Just tell that story again, Michael.
Right, I went to not North Down Golf Club, a certain golf club in North Down, right?
Yes.
And I had a delivery of 2 items in my arms, right?
Yes.
And I couldn't quite get the door open. And this gentleman was coming, you know?
Yes.
And I says, excuse me, would you let me in? You know, and he had the key. And he says to me, and these were the words, Mr. Coyle, you'll have to see somebody less senior than me to let you over this door, right?
Less senior.
Less senior than me, right? That was the word. And I was livid. And if I had known the number of I would have rung, you know, to get the chairman or president, whoever runs them golf clubs, because I was livid. I'm trying to deliver, and the like of that there, you see.
Jumped up.
So anyway, I said, well, stuff them. Now I knew it was an urgent one, right?
Aye.
I knew it had to be there for 12:30, and this was 12:15. And I said, stuff them. And I went into Hollywood. And I went into the wee bakery, got parked outside, went into the wee bakery, and got a couple of wee things. Cornish pasta in on the wee bun, a cup of tea, and I'm sitting in the van anyway, and come on the radio and says to me, is that delivery delivered? I says, no. I says, tell you what happened, you know, and they said, right, you couldn't run down it. And I says, yes, well, you know, and I put the radio down. I never heard myself. I was back about 1:10, right?
Yes.
That's fine. Anyway, they're all standing, shuffling and stuff like that, you know, when I was in. And this other man opened the door. He says, oh, that's great, we're really waiting on this. He says, it's for the presentation, and who was it? Your man that says to me, you're not allowed.
In other words, what he was saying to you was... that
he got into trouble. No, he got into trouble because he was the one that organised it.
But
you know what I mean?
But what he was saying to you was that he was too important to open the door for you.
Oh, that's right. And he didn't realise how important I was, you see. You know what I mean? And he got a quart dunk when I walked in. As out of bacon near hit the floor.
That's your friend. That's your friend,
No,
Sean.
that proves to me that Michael would be a bad employee. You're supposed to take the knocks. That's the sort of that's
no,
your
no, hold on a minute.
No.
He had a key and he opened that door and walked in and slammed that door in my face. And the words he says to me, you will have to speak to someone less senior than me to get over this door.
You could have left it at the front door and just pointed to the gentleman and says, here's your parcel.
No.
And
you see,
Mr.
Coyle, you would be a bad employee because then the thieves would come round. And then the thieves would lift the thing, and away they'd go.
Sure, the man's there, you say, there's your parcel there, it's for your golf club, I'm leaving it there now, you wouldn't let me in, and you walk away.
No.
Oh,
Mr. Coyle, you don't seem to understand. You need a signature for a parcel, you see. You know, it just
I'm going to turn him.
You are sitting there in your traffic warden hat.
I'm going to turn him off. I'm fed up with this.
It's shocking. Here, I have to tell you, not tell you, but Brenda, who gave the dog to my friend, the dog is loving itself up and down on the beach every morning, everything. And will I tell you, not dead. This is a dog, by the way, was rescued through your programme.
I know.
And the girl that 2 dogs get rid of, and a friend of mine went up and got one, you see. And anyhow, the dog's loving itself. Oh, it's great and up and down, but no, it's dead.
It's happy.
But next door had the washing out on Saturday or something.
Yes.
And the dog's probably never seen washing out in his life and didn't have to go down.
No, it's probably a dog from a Catholic area.
Yeah. he had to wash the clothes before the woman come home from the shopping.
Did you just take a tear at them, did it?
We don't, know what I mean? So young, it's about 6 months we left her across, know what I mean? And the thing just trailed him. And I says, no way, because there'd been rain and all. And the garden was mucked up, and there was a dog with, jeans and jumpers and all around land road.
Okay, Michael, here, listen, I have to go now.
Aye, okay.
Thank you, my son, and I look forward to getting those Beatles calendars.
Here, we've fairly wiped the smile house face today, haven't we?
I don't think so. I think he's beyond help.
Oh.
Thank you for that, Michael.
Look after yourself now.
Bye. 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 You're not doing yourself any good today.
Bills on one.
Your true self is coming out today, and nobody likes it. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gerry.
Yes, how are you?
Not too bad, this all. I was going through a break of papers the other day, I came across a wee poem. I know who it reminds me. I was just sitting here reading it when I listened to Michael there.
Yes.
It reminds me of Michael.
Yes.
And it's named Me Mother, M-U-D-D-E-R.
Yes.
There's only 4 verses, and it says, when my prayers were early said, you took me in my whittled bed and spanked my ass till it was wed, me mother. You lifted me from my cosy cot and set me on a nice cold pot and made me pee if I could or not, me mother. And when the morning light had come, in my crib I dribbled some, who wiped my tiny little bum, me mother. Who did my hair so neatly part, and pressed me gently to her heart, and sometimes squeezed me till I'd fart, me mother.
There's something disturbingly English about that.
Isn't there?
Yes. Thank you very much for that, sir. You've enriched our lives.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
For God's sake. This is the Henry Girls. James Monroe.
I'll tell you a story of James Monroe. He's a man who you won't wonder, and I've been waiting for far too long, so that's why I want to sing you this song. It was some years ago when I met my fate, but nobody told me till it was too late. And now I'm sitting here and feeling blue, giving you my advice so that he won't hurt you. James Monroe, he's a wicked rogue, and deep inside me he tore my soul. James Monroe, he's a wicked rogue, and deep inside me he tore my soul. love him so, love him so. Tell me why, love him so, love him so, love him so.
That'll please all the line dancers. That's a fairly ambitious rendition of A Day in the Life by Jeff Beck by the Beatles from George Martin's album, which is called In My Life. And before that, we had the Henry Girls, a song of their own, which is called James Monroe, from their great new album, which is called Between Us. Hello, good morning.
Were you down in Belfast yesterday?
I was down there momentarily doing a number of other...
Well, tell me this, who took the cream out of your bun because you're as crabbed as get out this morning? I never heard such arrogance and such nonsense from you. You just don't like anybody this morning.
I wasn't aware of that. I thought I was being fair and humorous.
So somebody is giving you a late rollicking down in Belfast.
Nobody's
and
giving
you're
me
taking it out in the listeners.
Nobody's given me a rollicking at all. I thought I was pleasant and friendly today.
You're not one bit.
All right, well, that's a matter of opinion.
And another thing.
I've been niggled from all angles.
Another thing.
Yes?
What's this talk about you going up the foil in a boat and you're not taking anybody with you? Do you want to be on your own?
No, it's not that at all, James. Believe me. Let me just say this to you. That I am going up the foil in a boat probably towards the end of June. The date hasn't been decided yet. I'm going to invite the people to join me because I want to show them the wonderful river that we have here.
But sure, that's already been done. You're not the first to do it.
Well, who else did it?
Sure, Coyle done it.
He doesn't count.
You're only following in other people's footsteps.
He only did that.
Can you not come up with originality?
He only did that in a little programme, so nobody heard him.
Well, the people up there heard him, and the boat was full.
They were full on the boat, too.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, I heard stories about that. There was far too much drinking. The bar will be closed when I'm there.
And are you not going to take Bennett?
No.
Why do you not want Bennett with you?
Because he's too fussy.
But sure, he has done a lot of outside broadcasts before.
He's too fussy. I get fed up with him.
He went to that Millennium Dome once.
I know.
And they closed it after.
Exactly. The crowds fell away.
And he went to the Odyssey.
No, he wants everything to be right. He's prissy. He's like an old woman. He couldn't be bothered with him. There's no crack.
But you've done a programme with him before.
I know, but there's no crack in him.
Didn't you do one from the Odyssey that time about the animals, the prehistoric ones?
No, I did that myself. But I ran out of things to talk about.
I thought he was on it too.
No, it's just you thought he's prehistoric. No. That was just the animals were there. And me, I got fed up. I started talking about bones at the end up.
Well, tell us this. Who told you off yesterday?
Nobody told me off.
Somebody has told you off because you're like a bat out of hell this morning.
No, I came in here this morning with the best intentions and I brought in buns for everyone. And suddenly I became aware of the lack of cooperation I'm receiving from the staff. And it just got under my skin.
Buns for everyone?
Pardon?
Buns for everyone?
Oh, you were late.
James, he brought on one bun.
Well, everyone.
Bun.
I was the only one there.
That's what he buys. He's in the bakery in the morning on the way to work and he buys one bun.
One bun and a many spoons.
That's what it is, yeah. You know.
Don't tell me you never sat in the chip shop with a Coke and 8 straws.
No, I did not.
Played of chips with 4 forks?
I did not.
All right, then.
The chippy that we went in always give you a Coke and a glass.
Well, how swanky is that?
And I'll tell you where it was too.
Where?
It was at the corner of a street called Leopold Street in the Crumlin Road.
It's probably away now, is it?
Oh, it's away long ago.
But
they always give you a glass, and you poured your Coke into the glass, and we thought it was extra special.
To get a glass?
Yes. That was a queer while ago, you know.
Is that what we do? You get a glass to drink out of, I'm telling you.
Especially in a chipper.
And I bet you, before you left, you screwed the top off the salt bottle.
No, we didn't.
You did. I always did that.
That to happen. It happened to me a couple of times.
I always did that.
Ruined my chips.
I know. I always had the pleasure of doing that. But I used to always screw the top of the vinegar bottle as well.
You were a right rascal in your day.
Bad wee I really was. Wasn't I?
You must have. Tell me I said you had pots in your trousers.
No, I used to wear 2 pairs of trousers because I
you were lucky.
No.
Great line. That's a great line, James. You could afford 2 pair of trousers.
Oh, you were lucky.
I used to show off. I had to wear the 2 at the one time.
Did I never had 2 pair of trousers? I just had the one.
And when they were finished, you walked around now.
And there was a patch on them.
You see, it was unfortunate. You see, this is, I blame Lord Brookborough.
And he carried the money, James, in the inside pair of trousers, of course.
So you couldn't get out.
Sure, that's right, and you couldn't spend it. Well, I didn't really. You must have been. I thought you were poor when you were young. You always said about your mother having to work hard.
Yes, but you see, the trousers I wore on the inside weren't very good. And the trousers I wore on the outside weren't much better, but the ones
tell James about the bus conductors?
What about the bus conductors?
Does James know about the bus conductors?
Who lived in our house?
Yes, boys that lived up the stairs.
Fred and Ernie?
Brought their bag home with them.
That's right.
But see, they were supposed to put their bag in the bank.
I know, but we had a different system. We had bus conductors. Do you know what we had lived in our house? We had a petty officer, a naval petty officer lived in our house.
Had he a beard?
Yes, he had, actually. He wear a white hat. And I used to get up in the morning, see the sailor get up and down the stairs, and I used to say, "Is the wee sailor gone?" I'll tell you what, I used to get up in the morning, walk down the stairs, and meet a chief petty officer from the Navy walking up. It's not, and you say, "Oh, hello."
and
what about the painter?
You keep your mind off. Keep your mind. Just do your job, okay?
You must have been better off than a lot of people then.
Tell James about the painter.
What painter?
The painter. The painter that played in the band with your brother. This man used to appear.
He used to sleep in my bed.
Aye.
Did he keep it warm for you?
No, he was a painter, you see, and he played in a band in my brother's.
Yes.
And his mother didn't know he was playing in the band. So she used to send him out in the morning with his lunch.
He was going painting.
Yeah, and he'd be only in bed 10 minutes. And she would get him up and he'd put on his overalls, he'd come over to our house and he'd go to bed and he'd leave his lunch for me. And he'd get into my bed and I'd eat his lunch and I'd go to school. No wonder I grew up gnarled and twisted. Is there any wonder I'm like I am today? Petty officers and men sleeping in my bed. I woke up one morning and found a Swedish sailor sleeping in the other bed. And I said, "Who's that?" I said, "Well, who's that?" She said, "I don't know." And we woke him up and he didn't know where we put him back in the ship. We gave him his breakfast.
Did they pay well?
No, but you know the time you used to leave your door open.
Yes, anybody walked in.
People used to be lying in your bed.
See, you can't do that now, boy.
If I was young now, I'd be ringing Esther Ranson.
You'd be getting a kicking if you left your door open.
And what about the prostitutes used to live in the top of our street?
Oh, I know nothing about them, Jay.
Used to be a dozen of them every night. They used to walk up past me and say, "What about you, son? You all right?" You know, how did I used to eat me chips, and I used to come home with half a bowl of chips. My mother says, "Where's the other ones?" I said, the prostitutes ate them.
And the other fellas used to ask you for methylated spirits.
That's right.
You told that story before. So you did.
So you did.
Well, so? You have to tell different stories every day. All right, I think I've had enough of you today. Right.
You're a grumpy old fella.
Go away then. All right then.
You're a terrible grumpy.
All right then. Go away. Ozzy Osbourne, he wasn't always a dollar an hour idiot. That's a song called OLA Tonight. Old LA Tonight. He used to make some decent records. Hello to John Gardner. It's his birthday today from Sadie, Rhonda, Andrew and John. And hello to Pauline Bowden. Love from Tony and Kathleen. And hello to Terry Graham. Good luck today, whatever he's doing. That's from all his friends. Can I play Chicken in Black for Johnny Cash for Trevor Spence? People keep asking for that, and I never play it. Comic Relief fundraising event in Armagh City Hotel on Friday night at 9:30. Get your hairy nose to the ready. Oh, God. Someone on the line. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, who's that?
It's Eric from Devon.
Pardon?
Eric from Devon.
Eric yes, sorry, Eric, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Gerry, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What can we do for you?
I did write to you, but asking for a special request for my wife's birthday, which is today. She's rung you a time or two, I believe. Great fan of yours. She loves to listen to the programme.
Really?
What she wanted was a thing from Deja Vu, Teach Your Children Well, because she used to sing in the group a few years ago.
Yes, that Teach Your Children, is that old song by Crosby, Stills and Nash?
That's the one.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know whether you've got time to play it.
Oh, when's your birthday?
If not, anything will do.
When's your birthday?
It's birthday today.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Oh, sorry we missed that.
Yes, I did write, but obviously with all your mail, you're probably...
Oh, I didn't get your letter. I'm sorry about that, or else I would have played that for you. I'll try and play it for you tomorrow if I remember.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not too late to wish her a happy birthday today.
No, well, if she's sitting here, perhaps you'd like to wish her happy birthday in person.
I certainly will. Would she speak to me?
Hello?
Happy birthday to you.
Hello?
Hello?
Who's that?
Gerry Anderson here. You're on the radio. At BBC
Hello,
Radio
Gerry.
Ulster. I just wanted to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Listen, I believe you listen to this programme on or maybe Radio Ulster particularly.
Yeah, I'm a house band, so...
Are you?
Yeah.
And you listen all the time. And I think have I talked to you before?
Yeah, Angela.
I have indeed.
Yeah.
Angela, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was your birthday.
Yeah.
So, are you going to do anything special? Are you going to have a Mars bar or anything?
Well, I've won some money on a scratch card.
Oh, that's not bad.
All of £2.
Oh, blow it. Get 2 Mars bars and a can of Fanta. Go on to hell with the expense. Well, sorry, you used to sing, did you?
I did some years ago, yeah.
Who did you sing with?
Huh?
Did you sing with friends or did you sing professionally? Or?
Well, semi-professionally. The lead singer, he was a professional.
Yeah.
The group was called Brew.
Yes.
Yeah, this is right down in Devon.
Yeah, and you did gigs and stuff, did you?
Yep. Yeah.
Used
to go down to Cornwall and all around Devon. And I was the only female singer.
Really? Bet you enjoyed that.
The female singer.
Oh, I bet you all the boys made a beeline for you. And how come you ended up with that Earl Egypt?
Huh?
How come you ended up with that Earl Egypt there?
What do you mean?
Him. How come you ended up with him?
Who?
Him in the corner. Him there, that was with you.
My husband?
Yeah. How come you ended up with him?
Because I loved him. And he loved me.
Well, that's the main
thing.
And
he still does.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, he's obviously taken the trouble
He said he'd written in. I didn't know.
No, that's all right. I didn't get the letter. Sometimes, you don't get stuff. I'll probably get it tomorrow, a day late.
My favourite, what we used to sing, was from Deja Vu, that Teach Your Children Well.
All right, I'll play that for you tomorrow.
Or anything.
Okay, then.
I like all the Irish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I like the Irish people.
Good. Well, happy birthday to you.
Thanks.
Okay, and have a nice day.
Yeah, God bless.
Bye. That's Bob Dylan, poor boy, from his album called Love and Thirst. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye.